Alright, welcome back to Pass IELTS with Coach Jemima. So in the last video, I was talking about the scanning skill and how important it is to your IELTS reading test. Okay, so we have mentioned two skills that you need in your reading exam. We mentioned the skimming skill and the scanning skill. Okay, now in this video, I'm going to be talking about another skill. Now, I've mentioned two skills. They are important, okay? But this skill I'm going to be mentioning is the most important, okay? It is the most important. Please take note. Now, this skill is ability to recognize synonyms and paraphrasing. Ability to recognize synonyms and paraphrasing. Now, this is very important. Most times, in fact, all the time, okay? 99.9% of the time, that is basically all the time, your examiners will paraphrase. Your examiners will paraphrase. If there's an answer you are looking for in the passage, don't look for the specific word. It would have been paraphrased in one way or the other in the passage. Now, what is paraphrase? Some people say, okay, what is paraphrase? What are synonyms? Synonyms are words that have the same meaning but different spellings, okay? Synonyms are words that have the same meaning but different spellings. Let me give you an example. Now, the word fascinating, I'm going to put that on the screen. The word fascinating, the word interesting, okay? They are synonyms. Yes. There are times where, I keep talking, interesting, this is interesting, that is interesting, that is interesting, and I don't want to use the word interesting again. I can replace it with fascinating. And there's another word I can also use for this same interesting, fascinating. I can use intriguing. I'll put that up to intriguing. Now, these three words, they basically mean the same thing. Now, they can be used in different contexts, okay, but they are still kind of, when you search on Google for synonyms, you are going to see that these three words, they can be used in place of one another. So these are synonyms. Synonyms are words that have the same meaning but different spellings. Okay, I think I've given you an example. So paraphrasing, what is paraphrasing? Paraphrasing is almost the same thing as synonyms. It's just so what I'm going to call paraphrasing now, because now there is para and phrase, so it is no longer a word. So paraphrasing is where I'm turning or I'm converting a single word into a phrase. Okay? I'm converting a single word into a phrase. So an example of this is, now let's use the word favorite. Now I'm saying my favorite food is, okay? My favorite food is this, my favorite food is that. Now, in place of favorite, I can say my best food, right? Now, they are synonyms. But if I want to paraphrase, I can say the food I like most. Now, favorites and like most. But the word like most is no longer a word. It is now like a phrase. The food I like most. I like most. Okay? So you must be able to identify when a particular word has been paraphrased or the synonym has been used in the question. So for instance, a question is saying, the lady found the movie interesting. The lady found the movie interesting. Okay? Now, if I'm going to the passage now, I'm looking for this particular sentence in the passage for me to find the answer to it. I may not see it verbatim that way. I may not see in the passage, the lady found the movie interesting. The examiner would have paraphrased. I may see something like, the lady loved the movie a lot. Okay? The lady loved the movie a lot. Or the lady was fascinated by this movie. or they may give a scenario that shows that this lady is interested in the movie. I mean, this movie interested this lady. They may give a scenario to just explain that. So the ability to recognize that, oh, this scenario painted is still this thing in the question, or this is what I'm saying in the question, this is the paraphrase, this is the synonym. It is a very good skill. It is a life skill in IELTS that you must have. You must be able to now. Some people can say, oh, I don't know this, I don't know synonyms. Do I have to start reading? Do I have to start studying dictionary? Do I have to start reading dictionary? Not necessarily. You don't have to start reading a whole dictionary. There are different ways you can build up your synonyms. There are different ways you can train yourself to recognize synonyms and paraphrasing. Now, the first thing is you reading books. You reading books. You should be a reader. You should read books, not necessarily novels. You can pick up magazines. You can read journals. You can read articles. Just read things. But well, someone can say, oh, I don't have much time. My exam is probably in 2 weeks. My exam is in 4 weeks. I can't start reading novels right now. I can't start reading articles right now. How do I speed up my ability to recognize synonym and paraphrasing? More about this will be talked about in my next video. Thank you.